Hi guys, your test for certification is just around the corner, so I want to give you a couple of tips that are going to help you when you go to take your test. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to scroll down here and check out the Smartart. If I select my Smartart, I get my Smartart Tools tab. I have a design and a format. On the Design tab, I get options here for Smartart styles. Now, if the question asked me to place a style on my Smartart, I would select it from here. However, be very careful because sometimes they throw something different at you, like for example, to make your Smartart beveled. Well, the beveled would come from your Format tab and your Shape Effects, and you would choose Bevel from here. So be really careful when your question is asking you to apply a format to your Smartart. Know if it is a style or a shape effect. Be careful with that one. All right, since we're right here on our Smartart, let's take a look at a couple of other things. One of them specifically is reordering your Smartart items. So you can see this Smartart says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that I need to rearrange these. Do you notice if I use these move up or move down buttons, it will reorganize my Smartart? Make sure you use these if your question is going to ask you to reorganize your Smartart. All right, let's take a look at something else. Let's say that it's going to ask you on your test to change some text into columns. All right, so I select the text it's going to ask me, and then I go to my Layout tab, and then I'm going to choose columns. Now, if it gives me just a set of directions, change the text into 2 columns, good, I'm done. I'll select it right here. However, if it gives more description in your question, you're going to want to choose here. This way you can add your spacing. If it tells you to do 2 columns and add spacing, make sure you do it this way. So that would be the column button and then say more columns, and then you can choose it from there. So use that option if they give you more. If they simply say change it into 2 columns, that's fine. Select 2 from here. Just know the difference between the 2 and be aware of that option. Okay, the next thing that I want to mention to you guys is tables. If you have a table, this is your table selector button right here, this little icon. I can select my whole table by clicking on that item there. Now, let's say that my test question is going to ask me to merge and center my first row. All right, if that's the question, I will use my Table Tools tab. I have a design and a layout, and I can pull my options from there. So if it will ask me to merge the first line of my table, I'm going to choose right here to merge these cells. All right, awesome. It may also say to center. It may not say to center. If you want, you can choose the center button that's up here on your layout tab, or you can go to home and choose center, whatever you feel comfortable with. However, I do want to mention some of these other options for your cell size. Your question may ask you to auto fit to contents, auto fit to window, or make fixed column width. All right, so if it asks you to do that, make sure you know where this auto fit comes from. I'll select this one, auto fit to contents, just so that you can see it. All right, the last thing that I want to mention is it may ask you to select a row to repeat for your header row. Usually that's your very top row, and they'll tell you which row to choose for that. This is an ADA compliance thing, so you've probably done this before. If you are asked to select your row and make it your header row, you would come right up here on your Layout tab and choose Repeat Header Rows. You're good to go. Let's say that your question might ask you to convert that table to text. If that's the case, you'll select this, Convert to Text, and say OK. All right, I only had my first row selected, so it only converted my first row. So make sure if you want your whole table converted, that you choose to convert the whole table. Awesome, I hope this helped you with your test. Good luck.